demand that a list be given to him. Mr. Speaker, now that the minister has volunteered a lot of information, wouldn't it even have been procedural okay for him to tell us before he concludes where he has reached so far? Because he undertook before this House that you will see that as we commemorate the International Youth Day, how far has he gone on the issue of the release of the youth that he undertook to secure?
During the debate, I'm going to allow a debate. I'm going to allow a limited debate. I will provide it for under Rule 52. That's number one. But number two, he has not yet concluded. So I don't know what he has in his conclusion. Maybe Honorable Numbers is cheating for exams. In the conclusion, this is a critical issue. We can update ourselves.
I want to start with Honorable Nambozo's request or reminder that I came to the floor of the House. Honorable Betty Nambozo.
No.
Honorable Betty Namboze. Yes. Okay, Bachireke. Thank you. Thank you for the correction.
For record, Mr. Speaker.
Now, Honorable Betty.
Honorable Mrs. Betty Namboze Bachireke.
Mr. Speaker, sir, in this House we have 3 members who are almost go by the same names, and for the sake of clarity, Mr. Speaker, I wish to state that I'm called Bachireke Namboze Betty. Mr. Speaker, if the Honorable Minister continues to call me Nambozo, he will remove me from Buganda to Bugisu. There is the Honorable Nambozo in this House. I'm not the one. I'm Bachireke Namboze Betty.
Thank you. Please, Honorable colleagues. Oh, it's, sorry, Lop.
Mr. Speaker, the Honorable Minister Youth, there is a clarification I would want you to make, bearing in mind that the National Planning Authority commissioned a demographics report, and it puts the youth age at a dependence ratio highest ever, even with the skilling, even with the achievements that you have just taken us through, even with the digitalization. It is beyond even 100, it is 103%. See how abnormal it is. And we're trying to look at how to harness the demographic dividend of the youth. And this is between 2022-2024. And I expected you to let us know how the programs have not helped to lower the mass unemployment of the youth. They are at a staggering 78%. Of course, Uganda has the youngest population. But the challenge we grapple with, and you grapple with as a government, is that of mass unemployment. And it has seen many of these youth, particularly those that are churned out by our universities and other tertiary institutions. And the commitment fees and the interest, it is at 97 trillion. And I calculated, I realized the burden will shift from us to the younger people. They will be the ones who will pay that debt. So I was pondering over it and said, if you were to design a very good theme for Monday, next Monday, 12th, it should have been, blessed are the youth of Uganda because they will inherit the public debt. Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker, sir.
Raise the issue of the National Unity Platform Young People. I want to inform you that we shall issue a statement on Monday in Soroti. I had a discussion with the President just yesterday. I reminded him of his kindness. He had allowed to stand surety. He had allowed to stand surety for those young people. Most of those young people were given bail, but they were denied bail due to the conditions that were put in place. Just hold on. So the president has once again pledged that he is going to act on that. Let it be on record of Parliament. Those young people will get freedom soon. Number 2, Honorable Patrick Oshabe. Honorable Patrick Oshabe.
Colleagues, there is
The skilled youth. That is part of our agenda. We have discussed this in cabinet, and soon a paper will come to the floor of Parliament regarding you have skilled but you have not equipped. What happens? You go back to the village or you go back to your residence. So we shall equip and skill. Then Honorable Kabahande from Chegegwa, Kabahenda from Chegegwa, Flavia, he raised the issue of equity, that the disabled are not considered as in reference to training. Few are attaining training. I want to inform you, Honorable Kabahenda, that we have the Minister of the Disabled, and we are working closely to close the gaps. Whatever gaps are there, we shall close them. Then you raised the issue of low budget for these disabled children, rehabilitation centers. That is not the only affected area in our ministry. In the last budget, we requested more funds to feed even the juvenile. We have close to 1,800 young people, juveniles, who are currently in detention or who are currently in remand homes, but they eat very small portion of food. Only the budget of 640 million was passed by this house to feed those children and to maintain those homes. Some of these homes even don't have cars to deliver the children to court to get fair justice. So this is something, as a Minister of Children, we need to work on, and Parliament, we need to have this matter addressed as soon as possible, so that these children home get cars. I'm inspecting the homes. I was in Imbale 2 days ago. I was at Fort Portal the other day. I went to Masindi on Friday. I intend to go to Gulu next week, and Arua a week after. So, and then Kampiringisa. So let's work together, Parliament and the Cabinet, to have this budget for the juvenile centers and the rehabilitation centers increased, so that now we'll give you an example for Portro Remand Home.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker.
yeah, she's just look at her, she's bureaucratic.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. I want to appreciate the Honorable Minister for his submission, and also to appreciate the contribution of government towards skilling the youth in this country. Right, Honorable Speaker, I have a comment about the Youth Livelihood Program that has now lasted for some 10 years and above. Right, Honorable Speaker, this is a revolving fund. However, some amount close to 43 billion has not been revolved. So the Ministry of Gender must ensure that this money is revolved. This is according to the Auditor General's report, that the money was recovered, but it wasn't revolved. That should be noted too. Right, Honorable Speaker, we should listen to the plight of the youth that had it strike on issues of corruption. Right, Honorable Speaker, many of these youth are in prison on charges of becoming a public nuisance. How I wish on this Youth Day celebrations, Honorable Minister, you listen to the plight of the youth to be released unconditionally. And also have many youth in prisons for political reasons. 4 years, 5 years, they've not appeared before courts of law. So if we are to look at a government that cares for the youth, really looking to ensuring that these youth get justice. Lastly, Right, Honorable Speaker, we all know that we've just concluded the census, the population census, and it's clear that Uganda is among the countries with a very youthful population, but very unemployed. The youth have been made unproductive. So, Honorable Minister, can we think about the youth that are very skilled but very redundant in homes of their parents? Kindly think about them so that this country can serve us as a whole nation unselectively. Last Right Honourable Speaker, Sembabule as a district has been left out on issues of skilling centres, and we are among the most populated districts. So think about Sembabule as a district. We only have one vocational school, Rutuku Vocational School, that is in Maogola North, far away from the most populated constituents of Maogola County. So, Honourable Minister for the Youth, think about, and even Maogola West of the Honourable Nifa, but Maogola County of Honourable Namuga is more vulnerable. So, think about, Honourable Minister, of how you can cater for Sembabule in a unique way. It's not being selfish, but Sembabule is very vulnerable in many areas. Thank you, Right Honourable Minister. Right Honourable Speaker.
Thank you, Honourable Minister, who has read to us the statement. We do appreciate, but I also wanted to make a comment about the list of the success or the achievement that has been listed in the statement. The Minister speaks about the YLP program, which he quotes as one of the successful programs Ministry of Gender has implemented. But on the Gender Committee where we sit, this program was cut short of funding because it was non-performing. The funds that were given out to go and help the youth were all embezzled, and some of the ghost groups that were created failed to pay back the fund. That's why on the recovery, you'll find that YLP is performing very poorly and UEP was performing way better. So I think for a program that has been listed by government and cut short of funding because of non-performing, we can't list it under the successful programs that we've given out to the youth. Also, back to the theme, Right Honourable Speaker, we are speaking about giving skills to the young people. Yes, that brings back to the mind of government that we identify and recognize many young people are short cut of the opportunities because they lack the skills. How I wish the minister could prioritize the theme by putting it in action, not just speaking. It is a shame that today we are celebrating and giving such a theme, but recently many medical interns are in cells, many have been arrested because they are fighting for opportunities for the skills they learned in the different institutions of higher learning. It is a shame that we, the leaders, who should give these young people an opportunity to listen to them when they come out to speak about corruption. It is not about only corruption in Parliament. They speak about corruption everywhere. Many funds have been listed that they have been given to us, the young people. But when you go to our districts, none of us can identify a project that is running well from the 284 billion that is claimed to have been dispersed in the Youth Livelihood Program. So I think we should give them a voice, listen to them, and also welcome their ideas. Sometimes they're advising us not to fall into the deeper pit, but by blocking them, we are giving them maybe an alternative to recognize their voices and giving them a chance to be heard. We might giving them an alternative to maybe confront us in the other way around. Also, finally, Right Honourable Speaker, when we look at you, some of us admire the kind of leadership you offer to this house and the country. How I wish, for the many years I've joined Parliament, we've celebrated this day. And we've always had that one chief guest who is no longer relevant to the circumstances that we are passing through as a country. How I wish on this day we get young, able leaders like you. I'm also here. We have the able president of the National Unity Platform. He's an inspiration to this generation. How I wish we give such kind to go and speak to these people. Right Honourable Speaker, the day of the youth celebration is losing meaning because it is predominantly or it is dominated by one political party. All other parties, all other youths need a voice. They need to be celebrated. Their ideas need to be heard. But when you look at the settings and the organizations, it looks like the youth NRM Day. How I wish we give that platform that can accommodate everyone, regardless of their color, regardless of their political background, but give them a chance and also new faces to speak to them, inspire them, motivate them to be better leaders of this our country. I thank you. You're not from here.
Huh?
Yes. We are learning a lot from him. Honorable Masala.
And I want to thank government for the initiative that they are doing to attract more foreign direct investment into the country, because this is employing most of our youth. But I believe we need to go beyond just providing employment. I think we need to look at the quality of employment that this foreign direct investment is bringing into the country. I do represent a constituency that has one of the biggest industrial parks, I think, outside Kampala, that is Mbale City. But when you reach in this industrial park and you look at the conditions that our youths are going through, it's quite alarming. It's as if it's another form of slave trade, because many of our youths are being exploited. You find they're being paid about 5,000, 6,000 a day. They're working 12 hours. They are not provided with any PPEs, any health and safety. And yes, it's the bitter reality that is happening. And I've tried to look at the national employment policy, and not many of these things are catered for. So I believe we need to cater for our youths. We need to protect them, because once someone is earning less than 200,000 a day, what do you expect that person to retire to after maybe 10, 15 years? These industrial parks, these factories, they are not saving for our children. None of them actually have not seen any registered with NSSF and saving. They are being given handouts, cash on a daily basis. So I think on this Youth Day, it is one of the key things that we need to look at area. I approached some of the owners of these parks and requested for jobs for some of these young people. But when they got there, the challenges that they do face, I no longer now support or take or help recruit people to go into these works, because some of the children got accidents at work. And these parks, they do not provide anything to do with medical. One got the arm messed up by one of the machines, and we had to go through a lot to treat this individual. That is the issue I was trying to raise. I did not mean they are under slavery, but the conditions, I think we need to address this issue once and for all, and the ministry needs to come out with clear guidelines. They need to save for these children, and I think one of our people are being exploited, and we're having a lot of capital flight. There is a lot of money that is leaving this country and at the expense of our youth, right, Honorable Speaker. So I think the government needs to take an interest in that, and probably when you're addressing most of these factories around.
Thank you. Now, honorable colleagues, I'm constrained by time. Oh, let me allow you, Western. I'm sorry, I'm constrained by time. Yeah.
Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker. I personally want to thank you, Right Honorable Speaker.
Ku statement ya Minister okuza olunaku lw'abavubuka tulabye ng'agezezaako ku addressinga issues ezimu, naye waliwo ezirekeddwa ebbali okutwaliza awamu ekintu ekikwatagana ku mirimu. Abavubuka baffe bangi tebalina mirimu, naye ate abo abalina emirimu bakolera mu mbeera mbi nnyo nga kye kimu ku bintu ebyetaaga okubeera addressed. Kuba otunuulira factories zino ziwa abaana baffe emirimu, China bajja ne bawa abaana emirimu naye babasasula ssente ntono nnyo, babanyigiriza. Abaana bwe bafuna obuzibu ku mulimu tebabalabirira, abaana bano tebabasevingira ku ssente za NSSF, kitegeeza bwe bali kaddiwa ne bawumula tebali baayo na kantu, balifuukeera dependent ku government. So bwe buno obuzibu bwe tulaba nti ssente ze basasulibwa ntono n'embeera ze bakoleramu mbi ddala. Kuba omwana bamwanusu 15,000 kakaaga olunaku, amaliriza omwezi akoze emitwalo nga 2 gokka, talinaako saving, talinaako ki, walwala alina okwejanjaba lwogwe yafuna obuzibu mu factory Mbale n'afuna omukono machine n'egusala, naye nga abamukozesa abachina bana aba factory ne bagaana omujjanjaba ne tumaliriza nga tulina kola fundraising okujjanjaba omwana ono. So bye bino ebimu ku bintu byensuubira ng'omubaka ebyetaaga okuba addressed. Tifenga 11th parliament maybe tuyinza okuza discussion ya minimum wage ne tuteekawo standard nti omuntu yenna akola mu factory akola omulimu guno na guno talina kusasulwa wansi wa ssente weeziti, kuba tulina n'abaana bangi ba graduates balina degree diploma naye kati nga bakolera emirimu egibawa ssente entono ennyo okusinga ze bandibadde babeera nti bafuna.